When I was 3 years old, my dad asked me if I was hungry for lunch. My response was, "Sarah, not hungry, Sarah is busy." And busy I was. First, I was busy playing with my little ponies. Then it was dance classes, swim team, science camp, Model United Nations, junior lifeguards, and the list goes on. These days, being busy is the norm. People's response to the question, "How are you?" is, "I'm busy." Thank you for your participation in that. Not only are people stacking their schedules sky high, they are filling every single little corner that they can of their schedule. They're doing it to themselves, and people are doing it to their kids too. I don't know about you, but when my response was, "I'm busy," I felt really important. Got places to go, things to do, people to meet. I'm on my way. This is why we become busy. It's an easy way for us to feel important and productive. People talk about being busy as though it's something that happened to them. "Oh, I'm so busy. Can't. I have things to do, places to go, people to meet." But being busy is a choice. Not only are we choosing to be busy, but we're making this choice based on bad information. Being busy does not give us the fulfillment that we desire. It does not give us greater connection with friends and family. It does not make us happier, and it doesn't even make us more productive. There is one thing that we could do that does give us all of those things, that does give us the fulfillment we desire. Back in February of this year, my boyfriend was preparing to go on a 2-week trip alone to Australia, and I was excited. I wasn't excited to hog the bed or the remote. I was excited to work. In 2 weeks, there are about 238 waking hours. In those 2 weeks, I did 22 life coaching sessions, devoted 30 hours to my therapy practice, spent 34 hours at my retail job, and I taught 50 Pilates classes, 50, at 3 different studios across San Diego County. Including commute and prep time, I spent about 164 of 238 available hours working. During a meeting with my therapy supervisor during those 2 weeks, we started talking about the new kind of therapy style I was going to learn because I clearly wasn't up to enough. We did a mini session, and this particular therapy is called emotional transformation therapy. And it allows the client to process issues on a conscious and subconscious level, which is great because you don't even need to know that you have an issue in order to address it, right? Can clearly see where this is headed. After a 20-minute mini session with her, she said, "That assessment tells me that you spend a lot of time avoiding feeling lonely." Taken aback, I was about to deny feeling lonely when I got this tightening sensation in my stomach that traveled through my chest and ended up as a lump in my throat. Her follow-up question was, "When are you going to stop being so busy?" And I felt like the wind had been knocked out of me. Feeling exposed, raw, and exhausted, tears started to stream down my face. My schedule, while wanting more time to connect, I had engineered my schedule to prohibit it entirely. I didn't even have the energy for any of the jobs that I had, much less interest for free time with friends and family. What I needed was balance. Balance is what makes us more fulfilled. It makes us better people, better partners, better parents, coworkers, and community members. So, if the answer is so easy, then why don't more people be balanced instead of busy? Well, being balanced takes work. It's easier to be busy. We say yes to pretty much everything. And by doing that, we don't need to worry about being seen as lazy or antisocial. And it clearly, by my example, is an easy way for us to avoid uncomfortable feelings. Dr. Brené Brown, who is a professor and researcher storyteller at the University of Houston, has been studying shame and vulnerability for 13 years. She has identified numbing behaviors that we all engage in order to avoid feeling uncomfortable or uncomfortable feelings. Loneliness being one of them. Being crazy busy is one of these behaviors that she's identified. Clearly for me, it was loneliness, but for some of my clients, it's been grief, sadness, anger, fear, grief. So if you identify with being crazy busy, what might you be avoiding? As more and more activities begin to fill up our schedule, we got to pick up the kids, we need to go grocery shopping, we need to clean the house, we need to throw in that laundry, we need to get to work, we need to show the boss the presentation, we need to make happy hour with friends, we start to get a little anxious. So we start to adapt, we start to create some little habits. These are called micro habits when they start small, and they end up becoming regular habits. These habits help us maintain this hectic pace. Drink more coffee to stay awake, drink more wine to relax, eating in the car while driving, responding to that text while standing in line. You'll notice that a lot of these little micro habits are forms of multitasking. Here are 3 main misconceptions about multitasking. While multitasking, you are not actually multitasking. I hate to break it to you, but very, very few people can actually do 2 tasks at one time. So you're just quickly switching between activities. Quickly switching tasks is like weaving through stop-and-go traffic on the freeway. You spend the same amount of gas, actually more gas, to travel the same distance. The second misconception is that multitasking saves you time. And I'm sorry, but it doesn't. A recent study done in the workplace showed that it took employees an average of 25 minutes to get back on track after multitasking. And last but certainly not least, multitasking does not make you better at multitasking. I myself was crushed when I learned this because I just figured it was like a muscle, like attention. You know, they tell you to just work on it and then you get better at it. No. Multitasking, even thinking about it, actually makes you more prone to distraction because your brain is unable to filter out irrelevant information, slowing down your cognitive process and eventually damaging your cognitive control. Whoa, multitasker, you traitor you. So when we indulge in these activities, we end up creating this cycle of leaking our very important resources of time and energy. We lose focus, we lose patience, we lose energy. So getting back to being balanced, how do we do that? How can we do that? How can we incorporate that? People talk about balance as though it's something that you can pick up at the store on your way home. Hun, we're out of balance. Can you get us some more? Okay, cool. And it's not. Balance is not an object, it's not a thing. Balance is a practice. Balance is like riding a bike. It requires dynamic awareness so that you can move forward, navigate obstacles, take in the scenery, and enjoy the ride. That's the whole thing about balance. It requires practice. So when we think about bringing this into our daily lives, when we think about, what does that look like? How can we incorporate that? White space. A schedule that promotes balance includes work, play, and white space. We know what work and play look like, and this is for everybody, by the way. Kids, adults, teens, seniors, everyone needs a little bit of white space. White space is a term that comes from design, and it refers to the blank space on a page that allows any imagery and any type to complement each other rather than compete with one another. If you think about what this looks like in your schedule, it's little moments between tasks that allow these activities to complement each other rather than compete with one another. White space provides time for integration. Dr. Dan Siegel, an amazing psychiatrist, professor, and author at UCLA, has studied the importance of integration and the role that it plays in our development and in relationships. The way that integration works is that these experiences that we have in our daily lives, over time, once we integrate them, it's what makes us who we are as individuals. So if each of us is a puzzle, Our daily experiences are the pieces. Without white space, we have all of the pieces, but no time to put them together, leaving us with just these individual experiences and, okay, cool, so then what? So when we incorporate white space into our schedule, it can be 5 minutes at the beginning of the day or between meetings. It can be an hour at the beginning of the day or the end of the day. It can just be grabbing lunch with one of your coworkers, getting outside. But some other easy ways to incorporate it include meditating, taking a new route to work so you can enjoy some new scenery, taking a lap or two around your workplace to get outside, being able to take a family walk around the neighborhood after dinner, ordering your morning coffee to stay rather than go, and then reading maybe before bed rather than disappearing into the ends of the internet. Incorporating any one of these activities into your daily schedule will help to increase your awareness. It will help to give you the opportunity to have some quality time with your friends and family, and it will help you to create some more balance in your life so that you can start that integration process. And know that as you practice all of these activities, you'll be able to do the same as when riding a bike. Move forward, navigate obstacles, take in the scenery, and enjoy the ride. Thank you.